Hello, hello, my beautiful sacred masculines, and anybody else who finds their way to this channel. We are on part 3 of our little series here. We've been looking at the elements and how they relate to sacred sexuality and how they can support us. An understanding of the elements can support us in our journey of sacred sexuality. And this teaching comes from the authentic tantric tradition of Kashmir Shaivism and the 36 tattvas. The tattvas are elements, and they are the elements of our experience and our lived reality. And they move from a more subtle form to the most gross, densest form, the densest form being the earth and this physical experience. The most subtle form being the oneness, consciousness, all that is, which is Shiva in Kashmir Shaivism. There's also a tradition where Shakti, the feminine principle, is the more overarching oneness, and the whole as a more feminine. But in the tattvas, this teaching, the very top, not like hierarchical, top not meaning like better, but the high, we tend to think of top or high as better than low, but it's not like this. Everything is happening on a continuum. Everything is one part of this experience. It all arises together. It's all one experience. It's just one way for us to understand and again relate to our experience. We tend to have a very dualistic experience. So high, low, top, bottom, that's one way that we experience duality, right? And that we relate to it and that we understand it. So yeah, when I'm saying top or bottom, high or low, it's not better than or worse than. It's just a way for us to understand and discuss and have language. Language creates separation and limitation just inherently. I mean, that's what it does. When we put a label on something, we limit it to that thing, right? So the top initial tattva is that one source. It's everything. It is the experience. It is our consciousness. It is just that whole, it's all of it. It's everything. And then it splits into two different tattvas, which is the feminine principle and the masculine principle, Shiva and Shakti. And then from there, it cascades into many different other elements, which we utilize to relate to our experience, and down at the bottom are earth, air, fire, water, which is what we've been discussing and talking about. And it's bugging me to look at my hair like that, so I'm taking that out. Our senses are another way that we relate to our experience, and those are other tattvas, sight, sound, hearing, touch, taste. So and time is another tattva. Maya is a tattva, another way that we experience our reality. Passion is a tattva, another way we experience our reality. So this is a really beautiful teaching and a really amazing way to open into such a richer, more expanded experience of our reality when we start to understand all of these tattvas and all of these different elements and how they work together and flow, and how one comes out of the other, and how without this we can't have that. They all work together, and it's a gorgeous, beautiful understanding and teaching, and I highly recommend looking into that more if that speaks to you at all. There's plenty of teachings online. I'm not knowledgeable to get into all of that. That's I've had the teachings, I understand, and I relate to my reality as such, but it's not my forte to explain it all as beautifully as some others can. So I'll just share my experience and how I utilize these tattvas to understand sacred sexuality and relate to sacred sexuality more, and to help open up the path for us in regards to these tattvas and these elements. So it's been really lovely. My guides guided me to have this discussion and share with you. And especially, you know, I've been doing the tarot readings, and I've been utilizing the different elements of the tarot, because those are earth, air, fire, water, the different suits. So how do those relate to sacred sexuality? That's how I've been doing those readings, and it kind of gave birth to having this discussion with you and diving into it a lot more. And it's been really quite a very rich and fruitful discussion and exploration. So we started off with earth, and then we went on to air, and now we're going to discuss fire. So fire element is spiritual growth, transformation. What does fire do? It transforms something from one form to another, right? And it releases and frees up the energy. When you burn something up, it opens it up to a whole different experience and really allows the energy to move out. So in regards to our spiritual path and our spiritual journey, fire, the element of fire, is what can burn away our old karmas, burn away our old tensions and stresses and anxieties, burn up those old patterns and belief systems, and then really illuminate. The light of the fire comes in to illuminate and bring clarity, and brilliant clarity, right? And it's our passion, purpose. The fire element is that passionate energy that just like what lights us up and really like fires us up and gets us ready to go. It's action, you know, how do we take action on something? That's the fire energy as well. Also air element can really, you know, spur action, but fire, that Mars energy too. It's the sacred masculine. Shoot, I didn't get into the masculine principle in the air element last time, but it's a masculine element. So totally dropped the ball on that. I apologize. So maybe we'll get into that further in a different teaching, but fire is a masculine energy. Which is, you know, it's interesting because Shakti, the feminine principle, is all about creativity, and the masculine in tantric tradition holds this space and is the consciousness. The Shakti is all the energy and the passion and the creativity. So it's interesting to think of the fire as a masculine energy, but it's also very transformative, and it is the action. So it's you know, different ways to connect with these energies for sure, but whatever speaks to you and what works for you best. So I always have kind of a little mental in there, because they're both that same type of energy, but one is considered masculine and one is considered feminine. So anyway, fire is traditionally considered a masculine energy and quality. So we'll just relate to it as such here. But yeah, that action energy, that passion, what moves, what goes, what like spurs us to action. So what else? Let's see. Yeah, transformation. I really think of it so much as that, and our spiritual growth, and that fire that fuels us to move forward, to follow our passion, to follow our truth, to keep going, to dig into it, to like really wake us up, you know, and bring us to life. So in regards to sacred sexuality, we've been looking at these elements as kind of like two different ends of a spectrum. And again, never any judgment. I will hopefully not ever be in a place of judgment with anything. And if I do come across that way, please let me know, because it's not about that. Everything in our experience is valid, and we just gravitate towards some things versus others, but we don't need to shun and shame or, you know, place judgment on anything. It's just part of our reality. So so these two different ends of the spectrum for the fire energy over here, passion is a real fire energy. It's our creativity. That's right. I don't take notes on these things. I get some mental notes and then I just go. So sometimes I'll forget, and I don't think it's in my nature to take notes for this. So, but maybe someday I will. I don't know. I can see where it could be beneficial. But creativity, passion, inspiration, that's the fire energy as well. So, and as it relates to chakras, we haven't been talking about the other elements as in regards to chakras, but they all are related to chakras. So this is our, the fire is our sacral chakra. That's our creativity, our passion, our purpose, and our solar. Where's our power come from? Where's a confident sense of self, courageous, like action again, like that real Mars energy, fiery energy. That's all of our sacral and solar plexus centers right there. Self-confidence, courage, ready to like just proclaim ourselves, strong sense of self, not egoic, unhealthy, but really shining our light bright. That's that solar plexus. It's that sun energy, that fire, the sun is fire, right? So, where are we strong? And like that Leo energy, that Leo quality, if you're familiar with astrology, just like that lion roar, but in a healthy way, So this end of the spectrum with the fire energy can be a real stuck, stagnant, blocked chakras, really shut down passion and purpose, disconnection from our creativity, and a disconnection from our sexual energy. Our fire energy is that sexual life force, vitality, energy that flows through the passion, the creativity, that gumption, that oomph to get up and go, that like really sparks us, when we're imbalanced. It can be really shut down. Where have we tamped down our sexual energy? Where have we stifled it? Where have we not allowed it to move through from guilt, shame, punishment, fear of being punished? A lot of us take that on when we're younger, in exploring our own sexuality, and it's not supported in the family, it's not supported in society, and we're taught to keep that secret, keep that under wraps, don't show that, don't express that, don't ask about it, don't talk about it, so it's really easy for our passion and our creative energy, which is that life force energy, to be very shut down and very, very tamped down. So in regards to our sacred sexuality, that's just it, not connecting to our sexual energy. We're not connecting to it in a healthy way, and when it's not flowing, it's really, we're shut down in so many areas. Our creativity, when we are creative beings, like that's what we're here to do. We're here to create. And when that is shut down and stifled, we can just feel really lethargic and stuck and stagnant and damp and just like, no get up and go. We just want to stay on the couch all day, or just not do anything. We might get some ideas, our mind might bring us some ideas, but then we don't have the actual energy to do them. And what I see when I think about this as it relates to our sexuality, I'm just really kind of more thinking not about the act of, or maybe, maybe it's not even being able to get excited or turned on or into a sexual state, connecting with that sexual energy that doesn't express through our bodies, our minds, our spirits. We're just so shut down to that sexual energy that we're not even turned on. We're not even feeling passion. We don't, our body's not responding, and then on the other side of that is a flowing energy, is an aliveness, is a healthy experience of that sexual energy moving through us. And in a way that's not like, when our sexual energy is up, it doesn't mean we're out like wanting to fuck everything or be in union all the time, or that it has to come out that way, which is another imbalance of the fire energy, when it's just needing to just constantly find an outlet. That's not a healthy, balanced fire element within us. But our sexual energy, that fire element, is just allowed to circulate and move through and lights us up, connects us with our passion, our creativity, and our purpose. in a way that we are able to bring that energy to all that we do, and not just about a sexual encounter per se, or self-pleasuring, or what we think of as sexuality in this culture. We've really you know condensed it, that's not the word I'm looking for, but that's okay, into this one thing, which is like having sex or having an erection, or being turned on. Our sexual energy is so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Again, passion, purpose, creativity, that flows out into all areas of our life. Where are you getting those ideas and then able to follow through with them and bring your creations out into the world and birth them out into the world? Whatever that might be. That might be, I was just thinking like baking a cake. That's a creative endeavor. Planting a garden. That's a creative endeavor. Building a woodshed. That's a creative endeavor. Creating new software. Anything that's like that. Anything where you're creating. I mean, we're always creating. Putting our clothes on. We're creating an outfit. We're creating a look. Creating an email. there's so much. There's so many ways that any creating a trip, creating an experience, creating an adventure for yourself or for loved ones. Anything that you're creating and birthing out into the world, that is your passion, your purpose. That is your creative life force energy. That is your fire element, really moving through you. Anytime you're taking action I always say it's like from a heart-based place, not from a place of fear, but action from where you're lit up and what really turns you on, what's fulfilling and satisfying and nourishing for you. And what speaks to your soul. Again, we're going into that spiritual element and quality where it lights up your connection to the source, to the divine, in whatever way that looks for you. That's a healthy fire element. And then on the other side, again, also this end of the spectrum, a fire element that's imbalanced can be very inflaming. Where are you too angry or stressed or just on a very short fuse, very frustrated a lot of the times? It doesn't take much to set you off. That's an imbalance in the fire element, and that can show up in sexuality around like not getting your needs met or feeling frustrated with the other person, just like they need to be doing something for you or needing to have that outlet to release that energy, and if you don't get it, then you're frustrated and angry and maybe taking it out on the other person or resentful or however that might look for you. But that's a real imbalance in the fire energy, and also an inability to be present. Again, this is an action energy, so action from a disconnected place. Maybe you're in a sexual experience or you're self-pleasuring and it's just all about action without any connection, without any emotional connection. It's just about do, let's get this done, let's go. And it's just this kind of fiery energy that's just like that explodes, and then like but there's no connection behind it. There's no love behind it. There's no, I was going to say spiritual connection, but there's no, connection. I guess that's the best way to put that. It's just about this explosion, that this release of energy, because it's so pent up and built up that it just needs to, that's a real imbalance in the fire element as well. The fire element, when it's healthy in regards to sacred sexuality, you can be flowing that energy, moving that energy, circulating that energy with yourself, with a partner, to just open up your entire experience, open up your connection with their action from a heart-based place. Your creativity is allowed to flow out into your day and through everything that you're doing. That passion and that purpose flows out into everything. It's not just about the act of sexuality. It's not just about like having an ejaculation or orgasm, where it's just like building up the energy and then it's got to go somewhere. You're able to move that energy and carry it with you and take it through every aspect of your experience, and connecting with another and being in sacred union with another is just one gorgeous, beautiful experience of that. But there's not like a neediness to it, an urgency, this has to happen kind of thing. And not to say that sometimes you don't want to just get together and just, go for it, right? And have that kind of fun. That, yeah, absolutely. The passion just builds up and it's just like, yeah, let's do this. That's great. But when it's always your experience, and when you're not able to have a different type of experience, and you're not able to cultivate that energy and let it expand through your day and through your life, when it is always that kind of just urgent, like this has to move kind of thing, or on the other end of the spectrum, you're just not able to get up any sort of passion and creative energy and flow and life force at all, that's another kind of issue as well with the fire element. So ways that we can help to open this up for ourselves are really going to come down to the first thing that was just coming through for me is nutrition, diet. What are you eating? A lot of things, people that can be really into spicy foods, or a lot of like tomato, citric acid foods that really inflame the body and inflame the digestion and inflame the whole system, that really affects our energy in a really big way. And if you tend towards an imbalance of the fire element, which is pitta, in Ayurveda, there's different doshas, different constitutions, different ways that your constitution tends to be more one of three: pitta, kapha, or vata. Vata is more air element, pitta is more fire element, and kapha is more earth element. And we each tend to have, in our constitution, what we were born into, our bodies tend to run a certain way. So if you already have a lot of pitta, fire energy, and you tend to be a real passionate person, a real intense person, and like a lot of energy going, and then you eat a lot of foods that are really fiery and spicy, and you can really get yourself out of balance. And that's when you see people that are just like really short tempered, they're really frustrated, they're really quick to anger, they're really moving too fast, they're just like, and they're frustrated all the time. And they're just like, and they're inflamed. Their bodies are inflamed, and their digestions are inflamed, and their brains are inflamed. So they're having like mental stuff like so if you tend towards that, looking at what you're eating is the very first step for especially a fire, the fire element. That's just because a lot of people tend towards really spicy food, and they can just love that, and it's only kind of exacerbating their experience. So to move towards more earthy foods to help ground down, and to move away from those really fiery foods a bit, try to bring more balance into your system, is really beneficial for working with fire element. And gazing at a candle is another really beautiful way to connect with that fire element, to just light a candle and sit in meditation and gaze at it for a while, and let's see what opens up for you. Opens up the mind and brings more warmth into your experience. And it's a powerful practice. It's a powerful practice for connecting more with that fire element and starting to understand insights and awarenesses that will come to you around that fire element. The fire element, when it's really balanced, brings a lot of clarity to the mind, and it really cuts through, and there's a lot of wisdom and insight to fire. So trying to relate this all, keep it related to sacred sexuality, we're going to go back to like the passion. And if you run towards that experience of just really wanting to go, get it out, get the energy out, trying to sit with it, breathe into it. There's breathing always breathing into the energy and helping to circulate that energy, open it up and breathing it through your channels, up through your core, through your spine, up into your, to the top of your head, and then back down, breathing that energy up instead of finding a need to just feeling like it has to move out. Try to really sit with that. And I know that definitely takes some practice. The fire energy is very powerful, and it can take a lot to bring it into balance and to work with that, and to help move it through and expand it and open it. But when you start doing that and start working with the channels, and energy work is really, really beneficial for fire element, because it is trying to move through the channels, and the channels are blocked. So when the fire element can't move through, it wants to find a way out. It's a real urgent kind of, I gotta get out, and it's overwhelming, and I used to have a lot of imbalanced fire, and I was very angry, and I was very frustrated, and I would cry all the time, because I was just like, I just wanted to change my experience. I had all this pent up energy and it didn't have anywhere to go in the right way, and so I just wanted to and it could get very destructive, because I would just want to go and just move the energy, just do something, I'd want to break things, I'd want to hit things, I'd want to or just do something to make myself feel different, and that's where I think a lot of addiction and such comes into play, because we just need to move the energy, we need to put it into something. So if this is speaking to it all, then let's work with that. Let's do some breath work practices to start moving that energy, and do calming breathing practices. Don't do fire energy practices like dragon's breath or skull clearing, things that only inflame more. You need to be doing calming Nadi Shodhana breathing, or yogic breathing, but in a calm way, to help calm the energy and open up the channels in a calming way to allow the energy to move through. And I know that doesn't appeal to fire people, because they want that intense, extreme experience, but that's only going to exacerbate. So you're going to have to be patient with yourself and really allow yourself to calm down and allow yourself to move the energy in a gentle way. Really, really, really important. And trust me, I get this one, because I'm all about I want intensity. I want more. This is part of why I love India, because it's intensity to the max, so let's go. Wow. My Pitta nature is thrilled being there. It's just everything is freaking on. So and I remember my teacher saying you can get addicted to that kind of stuff. I'm like, you're damn right I can. Absolutely. So I've done a lot to bring myself into balance, and working with diet and nutrition has been a huge piece for me. But the breath work, yes. So, and in sexuality, coming down into the present moment, being present and trying to be in the here and now, instead of really trying to move that energy and force it and about the outcome, So again, breathing that energy through, breathing that intense energy, allowing it to circulate and move through the body. So really, this is a big one. That fire element. But when it does, when you do find some more balance, and when you're able to allow that energy to move through, it just really opens up so much. It opens up that creativity. So it's allowed to move through so much more of your life. It brings you into your confidence and your courage and action from that heart-based place. So and it really opens up the spiritual connection too. That fire energy is that transformation. You start clearing away all this stuff that has been blocking you and so built up. That fire energy transforms again. So, and that's part of what's been so beneficial for me on my path, is that fire energy. It burns shit up when you utilize it and harness it for those purposes and for that intention, that passion, to that drive to for me, it was spiritual growth, that drive. I could harness that energy and put it into something that really supported me, so it's really about learning how to utilize, I think, that more than some of the other, or maybe it's just because I have a lot of fire energy, but it's an intense one. So We'll get into the water element next, which is also very intense in its own way, which is the other thing. I'm really a lot of water, so the water and fire together, it's been interesting, and a lot of air. Gosh, I guess all but earth. Which is why I need a lot of help with grounding, because I don't really have any earth in my chart or my experience. I'm just like, so learning to ground down has been huge for me. This is how we really, utilize these elements to really support our experience and our lived experience here in this reality. When we start working with understanding ourselves as it relates to the elements, and then we know, like, oh, okay, my air is way out of whack, so here's how I can bring it into more balance. Wow, I don't have enough earth connection right now, here's how I can bring myself into balance. And because part of, like, if you have a lot of fire, earth can really help to ground you down. So this is why we're talking about all of this. So, and as it relates to our sexuality, right? So I really pray that these teachings are supporting you into understanding how to bring more balance in for yourself. And I'm at the 30-minute mark. I'm really trying to keep these to around 30 minutes. So, this is a huge part of what we deep dive into, learning how to balance all of this in the 12-week intensive program. The next cohort starts in June. So when you're ready to bring yourself into greater balance and really clear out some of this excess, it's causing so much discomfort, disease in the body, discontent, frustration, relationship challenges and issues, like so much, check out that program. There's so many more details on my website, and reach out if you have questions about it, and let's see if this is a perfect next step for you. People have had just amazing experiences going through this program, and so much transformation, and just huge life changes and huge health benefits, and greatly improves their relationships. Like, wow. So, and spiritual connection, it's a huge piece of these programs, is and everything I offer is a deeper connection to source within yourself, finding that harmony and that love and that balance within. Then it all flows out from there, right? So, and then we'll really be diving into the elements and the sacred feminine, sacred masculine, sacred sexuality in India on our pilgrimage in November. And I can't wait for that. We'll be really getting into our senses, really looking at how these elements are at play, because it's really alive over there. And there's so many ways that we're going to be connecting with, like fire ritual, bathing in the Ganga, there's the water element, and the breath work, we're connecting with air, grounding, earth, we're going to be really, and getting into our sensuality, so into the body, it's all about that. It's all about these elements and how they're really supporting us so beautifully. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous teachings. My little alarm's going off. So yeah, full details, so much on my website. Check that out for a full itinerary. Early bird specials going on right now too, if you're catching this before June or July, I believe. So yeah, I look forward to connecting with you in India. It's going to be amazing. Reach out when you're ready to sign up for that. So, and feel free to check out the other videos in this series. We covered earth and air. Again, this is fire. And then next we'll be doing water. So thank you so much for being here and being on this journey with me into our sacred sexuality, a deeper connection, deeper union within and then without. So beautiful. It's an honor to be here with you, and I couldn't be more excited to be connecting with you, sending you so much love on your journey, and I look forward to connecting with you more. Oh, like, comment, and subscribe, please, and help get the algorithm to recognize this and share it with more people. So thanks, everybody. Bye.